High school is so weird. This is going to be kind of a reflection video in a way. I'm not trying to like vent out my childhood or anything, but I'm going to be using obviously my experiences as more of an example because that's my experience when it comes to these things. But we are also going to be taking a portal back to the 90s because I'm not going to pretend that I know what the kids are doing these days and what's hip and what's cool. I'm going to be talking about the 90s when I was in school and what was cool and hip and whatever the kids were doing. We weren't putting our chicken in NyQuil or anything, so we hit kind of different. But anyway, I went to a little backstory too, is I went to school in England and America. So I went to high school and secondary school and primary school. So primary school and then secondary school in England. Secondary school is 13 to 16, I believe, and then you're off to college. And then I moved to the States and I had to do some extra schooling out here. So that's the lore, if you will. So some of the backstory. So I've had my fair share of experiences. But anyway, I was the second biggest loser in school. Second. I think that's a badge of honor. I believe there might have been a prize for being the biggest loser in school, but I was definitely in my year. I don't think in the school because each year has their own thing. But in my year, I was the second biggest loser in my year. And I had no friends until I finally made friends. There we go. The sad backstory. Go cry about it. Didn't really bother me that much. If people used to act like it should bother me more than it did. And it I'm not going to say it didn't. The first 2 years were kind of tough-ish. 2 years before I actually made friends. That whole feeling of the teacher being like, all right, pair up. And then everyone groups with their friends. And you're just like, okay, cool. No one likes me. This is going to suck. That's always the word. I hate teachers that are like, okay, guys, we're going to do group events. Because not only are you going to be that one kid who's like in a class with none of their friends. Because that would happen to me too. I never got classes with my friends. So I get paired with people who didn't want to work with me. And then they would be like, oh yeah, they're going to bond and make friends. It's like, that's not what happens. This is not. We sit there miserably and one kid is forced to do all the work while the other two just talk. And it's usually the kid that, got forced to pair with the others. And you just see the look on their face when you get paired with them. It's like, bruh, just get over yourself, okay? You're not that great. So anyway, why was it so great to be cool in high school and middle school, secondary school, whatever? That is my question. Like, why do kids crave to be cool? Because back in my day when I was in school, it was cool to drink. I wouldn't be surprised if some of them were doing drugs, smoke, have a boyfriend, and party. Okay, so those are like the 5 major things. So why were people trying to go for being cool so much as kids? Just reflecting on this when you're older, like as a kid, I never really wanted to be cool. I was just fine when I finally made some friends, got away from the people who were being assholes. I actually kind of got labeled the second biggest loser in my year because this one woman, this one super cool person, air quote, who I used to go to primary school with, she was okay with me when we were leaving primary school, and then just in the space of 3 weeks she turned into the biggest bitch. And, I mean, she was kind of the ringleader of everything. She just became like head bitch, and I took the fall somehow. I don't know what the issue was. I'll never know why she had such an issue, and she felt the need to drag me down. But anyway, I don't think it obviously would bother me at the time, but I don't think it bothered me that much because being cool never appealed to me. Because if being cool means like smoking, getting so drunk you don't remember the night before, and when you're older you get drunk, drink yourself stupid, throw it all up, spend that money, throw that money up again the next day, don't remember the night, was it really that great, was it really worth it, like, oh, it's such a great night partying last night, don't remember anything, all right, okay, good for you. Glad your dad's probably paying for that with your allowance. But anyway, the third thing I said, oh yeah, boyfriends. What is it with secondary school age kids and having a boyfriend? I will never understand. Like, I know, I can also talk and say that kids in middle school also have this going on, because there's obviously other kids in my life now that are not my kids, but they're going through middle school right now. And I can say that there's middle school age kids, like, having boyfriends. It's like, dude, you are like 11 through 16. None of these guys are looking for a long-term relationship. They're going to be dating Becky in science class, Rebecca in English, and Chelsea in art class, while they are also dating you for about 2 weeks. So congratulations. I'm glad I didn't have a boyfriend in high school. Did not bother me, and secondary school did not bother me one little bit, but it was always such a big deal, such a big bullying point. Like, dude, I'm glad that I didn't get pregnant. Oh yeah, one of the girls who used to bully me, yeah, she got pregnant at 14, I believe. So kudos to you. Glad you got a boyfriend. Like, I hope that was worth it for you. Probably had one of them fancy diseases that came with it too. I don't know, but that just all comes down to it too. It's like, yes, congratulations, you had a baby with a guy who's gonna leave you as soon as college hits, unless his parents force him to be around. It's like, oh yeah, baby, I'm gonna be there. It's like, it's, I don't think they could force it. Like, I don't know how that works, but if you're in middle school or high school, please heed this. He says he's gonna be there, but he's probably not gonna be there. The second he goes off to college, your booty ain't gonna be there. He gonna go for the booty who right there. The relationships. I'm not saying that people don't stay together through high school to college, but don't place all your money on them staying around. It's just so funny just to look back and be like, oh God, was this really the standards we were trying to hold ourselves to? Is this really the check boxes that I didn't tick that made me the second biggest loser in school? God, I dodged a bullet. I'm so happy now that I was the second biggest loser in school, because I didn't have to deal with any of this kind of BS that the popular girls had to deal with. Oh, your makeup isn't cool. Your hair looks stupid. Like, oh my God. I also went to a secondary school even, that had a dress code. So, we had uniform and stuff. So at least we couldn't get bullied for that. But, they'll always find a way to bully you for something stupid. Like, it's ridiculous. Also, at high school, I'm going to talk about a high school experience. So moving on to high school now, I automatically got the rank as, like, the British kid, because I came to school and I obviously had, like, a really strong British accent. So it automatically elevated me to, like, near the top of the hierarchy, if you will. They would ask me to just say stuff because they wanted to hear the accent. It's like, dude, just ask me a question. I'm not a sideshow monkey, okay? If you want to know about stuff, you want to ask me, talk to me. Don't be like, yo, Tails, say something in English. Say a word that sounds English. Like, dude, hold a conversation with me and you'll hear it. Like, I'm not a sideshow freak. They would also, what else would they do? This is fun, so I'm going to go off on a tangent a little bit. They would ask me questions that I would just kind of look at them and be like, have you ever, like, read, like, do you have any knowledge of anything outside of America? Like, do you know your own country at least? One question I got asked is, do we celebrate Thanksgiving in England? No joke. Yes, we celebrate Thanksgiving. I also got asked if we celebrate the 4th of July. Yeah, we celebrate the day America declared its independence. And we also celebrate Thanksgiving. I hate to break this to you, but not all holidays you celebrate in America are universal. But I would also, get asked to say just like things in English, and it was so frustrating trying to talk to people because I would obviously had the accent, and I would be using this is gonna sound horrible, but I was using like words they didn't understand because I wasn't using like in every other sentence, and they were focusing, I think, more on my accent than what I was saying. So I'd have to repeat myself like 8 times to the point where I just got tired of it. It's like I am speaking the same language. How is this not getting through to you? So over time, I just made the extra effort to like fizzle out the accent because I just got so sick of it, and I guess naturally being around too helped. But it was you can still hear it in occasional things I say, occasional words I say. It'll come out even when I'm not paying attention, or even if I'm just talking about it, it'll just my affliction will just gradually change. Low-key, I'm glad that I lost the English accent because I have some videos, not on this channel, not live anywhere, of me talking with my old accent, and oh my god, it's just so hard to listen to. Personally, oh god, it's awful. I'm so glad it's gone and I have this nice, more chill accent going on right now. I get compliments on my accent and the way I talk all the time, so thank you guys for that. I appreciate that. But oh god, it was I couldn't even do it now. Like it just it was just so but anyway, so yeah, that gradually phased out. But yeah, people would just treat me like that. But specifically, I wanted to bring it back on subject. This one cheerleader who spoke to me in class, I assume because she liked to hear the accent or whatever. And I thought, like, I didn't think we were friends, but I thought, we were on speaking terms, like I was completely not aware to how, like, I knew that cheerleaders and jocks had this like stigma you see in cartoons and stuff, but I never believed it was an actual thing until this one girl was talking to me in class. And then, just like normally, she would talk to me in class. And then one day I was walking past her to a different class, and she was with her group of friends, and I said hi to her, and she just completely walled me. It's like, you're such a bitch. So next class, she tried to talk to me and stuff, and I just gave her like 1-word answers and then never spoke to her ass again. It's like, I don't have time for that. It's like, nah. You think you're too cool? You think you're too good to talk to me? Well, then I'm too good to talk to you, lady. Like, nah, I'm not doing this. I'm not gonna be your British sideshow freak. Like, oh my god, people are just well, not people, just like that. That was my first just experience of that, being, wow, this is actually real. Like, it's not just in cartoons. Like, why can't we just be friends? Like, I was just always so lost to that as a kid too. It's like, why? Like, if we were just, why does there have to be this social standing? Like, we don't really have cliques in England. It's like the popular kids and the unpopular kids, and then just the kids in the middle. But that was the thing too, is like I'd see in the movies like band kids, jocks and stuff all sitting together, and I didn't believe it was a thing. And I came to America, I'm like, oh my god, this actually happens. And then I think I ended up sitting with the anime kids, because I got, again, the lunch where none of my friends like, in England we got an hour for lunch, and in America it's like you gotta eat your lunch in 30 minutes and hope you're not the kid at the back of the line. Like, I bought my lunch to school, but if you're in America and you're the kid in the back of the line, good luck to you in the lunch line, because you're probably not going to eat that day. But yeah, you got like 2 minutes to like inhale your food and not choke. But yeah, I kind of just ended up sitting with the anime kids and occasionally some of my friends. But I'd never have any of the kids just like, and I wouldn't even intentionally, it was just, again, like my mutual friend like was there, and I'm like, well, I don't know anyone else, so I guess I'll sit here. You're stuck with me. Good for you. The British kid is here. Oh, I would have some stories about that too. I think one of the girls had a crush on me, and I just completely oblivious. I'm so stupid to all this stuff. Like, looking back on it now, I'm just like, oh god, I think she liked me, because she would absolutely hate everyone else. And then just looking back on our interactions, I'm like, oh god, I think she might have actually like had feelings for me. Like, whoosh, completely whooshed over my head. Like, no, I was just trying to hang out. And back then I wasn't really into anime that much. Like, I'm not hard into it now. Like, I'll watch anime, but I was never like reading manga into games, but I guess I could just relate because I liked some of the stuff. And then I just sat at the anime kids table. We had a vibe. We had a good time. And I also, side story, I got grapes banned from the lunch menu because I would bring grapes from home. And this is such a bitch thing to do, looking back on it, because, my parents paid for these. And I was, what a bitch. But I would get so sick of eating them because I would get grapes, like, for my lunch, like, every day. And then I would just start throwing them at my friends. And before they're throwing grapes back from their lunches, that the school provided. And before you know it, there's just like grapes flying everywhere, and then there's a food fight. And then like this happened for not like a massive food fight, but like, there'd just be like a mini back and forth on our table. And of course then the janitor has to pick it up. Like, we were such, oh god. Looking back on it now, I just feel like the worst kind of individual for doing that. But hee funny throwing grapes at friends. But it didn't last for too long. About, not even kidding, like a week later, there was an announcement saying the grapes have been banned from the lunch menu. It's like, oh god. And I didn't even get grapes from the lunch menu. I brought them from home. It's like, well, you kids don't get grapes anymore. It sucks for you. It's funny though. Anyway, where was I? Cool kids being cool in high school. Yeah. I don't know what the big deal was about being cool in high school. I really don't. It's such a thing that a lot of kids hold high. If you're being bullied in high school, and I know it's tough, I know it's hard. I say that it didn't bother me. If I didn't have the people I could talk to online or people in my life that I could talk to about it, then it probably would have affected me a lot more than it did. And if you're going through it, like, I sympathize, I really do, because it does suck, and it does have its moments where you just hate everything. But trust me when I say this, when you get older and you look back on it, it's really not going to seem that bad. Being cool is not all it's cracked up to be. Being socially accepted is not all it's cracked up to be. It's not all it's cracked up to be. Sometimes being the weird kid is the best kid to be, because you don't have to worry about social standing. You don't have to worry about what the other kids are thinking about. You don't have to worry about, if I don't wear this specific kind of makeup, I'm not going to be in their little clique anymore. Oh, my phone is old. Oh no, they're going to bully me and make fun of me. Oh, my makeup's a little off today. Oh, I'm going to get made fun of. I'm not wearing the latest shirt. Like, it's such a chore to be accepted. Just embrace not being accepted, and hopefully you'll be like me, and after a couple of years of being alone, well, not alone, but a couple of years not having any friends in school, you'll eventually find friends, and find that group of friends that you vibe with, and you end up having a good time. Because I ended up finding a really nice group of friends, and we ended up hanging out, having fun, and I got a best friend. So, it can get better. It does get better. Don't let it get you down too much. You're not really missing out. The cool kids, they kind of stupid, okay? It's not worth it. They're getting bullied too. They're getting pressured. So it's just easier for them. They got stuff going on in their lives. You never know. But, they're venting on you. That's all it is. They're just venting on you. It sucks. But, jealousy, all that stuff, it's always true. There's always a reason this one kid is bullying you, and they don't know how to deal with this feeling, and the only way they can do it is by hurting your feelings. Don't just try not to let it get to you, okay? It's another reason I kind of want to make this video too, is just like, I know that it's a serious topic, And yeah, just if you're going through it, watch this video. Know that it can get better. It does get better. Once you get out of high school, it's not an issue. There was this one thing in Family Guy that sticks with my mind. There we go. But it goes, high school is such a serious thing. These problems matter. When you get older, no, they don't. High school is nothing. Like, high school is just drama and stuff that you don't need to let affect you. You don't need it to affect you in any way. Don't let it hurt you in any way, because it's 4 years of your life, and once you're out of it, once you're free, you're gonna look back and you're gonna be like, you know what, it sucked, but I survived, and now I never have to think about it again. I could just focus on being an adult and not having to worry about what Casey is doing with Tyrone, because they're hanging out today and Tyrone said I'm his only GF. You know, it's really just pettiness. It's everything in high school is just petty, and rise above it. If you can, just try to be strong, rise above it. Once you get into college, join the workforce, guess what, it's still a petty little high school experience. It doesn't go away. So you need to learn how to deal with it now, because oh my god, joining the workforce, working with people, all those people you think are your friends, they're really talking shit behind your back. No, nobody is your friend. It doesn't change. It doesn't get better. You need to learn to be a fighter, and you need to get stronger now. I'm not saying that they're going to be saying your hair looks ugly or whatever, or like bullying you every day. And if they are, maybe quit and get another job. The beauty of being able to just leave. But yeah, it doesn't change. I'll be in school. I'll be in work, and I'll be thinking, you know, there's drama happening. I don't get into drama. I've never gone into it. I don't care. But there'll be drama going on. I'm just trying to keep my head down, do my job. I'm like, oh my god, we're literally in high school. Oh, so-and-so's not doing their job. Oh, this one girl, yeah, she said this, and then like, I'm just, oh god, I please, it's not, I didn't want to, we're done with high school. Why can we never escape? I actually kind of also got a little bullied when I first started working too. And by that point, I was just so beyond caring that I just ignored the crap out of it. Just ignore it. Just ignore it. It's not important. Focus on your day. Focus on what makes you happy. Just get through your day. Go home. Try your best to forget about it, because everything they say is not important. What's important is the people in your lives and what they mean to you, and the people who actually care about you and want to lift you up. Those are the ones that matter, not the ones that want to bring you down. Don't listen to them. They have no place in your life. If anyone's bringing you down, their words don't matter. They are insignificant to you. If you're being put down in any way, then just walk away. This is not a relationship you need in your life. It's not an interaction you need in your life. Just walk away. Just ignore it. I know it's hard. It really is. But yeah, I'm not going to say it doesn't get better, because that just sounds awful. Like, I have on and off days at work. And since I distance myself from like drama in general, my days are pretty chill. I go in, I hate my job, I leave. Just like everybody else. But I don't let the social hierarchy affect me in any way. Stand up for yourself too. Like, if someone's giving you a hard time, I was also facing troubles with a manager in my job, and I played the long game, and I waited until she slipped up, and then I went to the head boss, and she hasn't bothered me since. So yeah, sometimes you just have to play the long game and stand up for yourself when you need to stand up for yourself. Know when to just, I'm not going to say back off, but initiating just kind of makes it worse too. If you don't respond, they're gonna get bored eventually. Like, you just have to do your best to try and ignore it. And once I got the friends, the bullying continued, but it wasn't as bad. like, because you don't have any friends, what a loser. Like, actually I do have friends, and they're a lot better than you, biatch. Can I say that on YouTube? Can I curse? Whatever. We're not a children's channel here. VRChat. I never intended it to be a children's channel as I sit here talking about childhood experiences. But anyway, we have evolved. Now I have gotten through. Probably it obviously would have affected me for being confident and stuff, but I was always shy. I always had shyness and anxiety, and I still do when it comes to real life. But hey, we're working on it. We're growing. We're moving forward. I have gotten a lot better with being obviously more social online, and here I am talking to you guys about it, about my amazing high school experience. I just made it sound like a huge downer, but I was just kind of focusing more on the negative. Just a little fun subject that came up at work, and I was like, you know what, this would kind of make a fun little vibe video. Like, let's just reflect on how stupid like high school was, and how all these problems seem like such a big deal. And then when you get older and you can reflect, you're like, you know what, I'm glad I was the second biggest loser in school, because I dodged a lot of bullets. Looking back on what those girls ended up doing with their lives, and those guys, the popular kids, how their lives turned out. Fun fact, the girl who used to bully me the worst got expelled for being a bully. Go figure. She went to a different school, got pregnant, basically threw her life away with her grades and stuff, and she started smoking, I think. I don't really know. But anyway, she threw her life away by bullying me and other kids, because it wasn't the best school. It was a school where she was introduced to a lot of these things with peer pressure again. And, she had a chance to do well, and, it was more important to her to be cool and bully people than it was to give herself a chance in life and try and not become a degenerate. But karma's kind of a bitch, isn't it? Just bully people for no reason, and then it comes back to bite you in the ass, don't it? Don't be that popular kid. I'm not saying all popular kids are like this. All popular kids are bad. This is just a generalization. Not even popular kids, like the biggest bitches in school. Let's just say that. The biggest bitches in school are like this. But they are usually the ones who have the most effect on people's mental health and stuff. So we've had some laughs here talking about my experiences. We've had some serious moments and all that stuff. But I think I'm done, at least talking about this for now. Who knows, maybe I'll bring up some more fun high school experiences. We threw in some fun stories. I was the kid who was like the good kid. So it's not like I have any major stories like, getting grapes banned from the lunch menu. That's about the epitome of my rebel childhood. Yeah, we lived on the edge, like, dang, compared to what some of the other kids are doing, like, dang, ain't nothing. But yeah, and don't go thinking my high school was all bad or like pitying me in the comments now, because it really wasn't. This was just like one side of it. I enjoyed like my classes. Again, a nerd. I actually liked class, but I'd be like, oh, I hate this class, and I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed learning. I enjoyed, just hanging out with my friends when I could on campus, and I liked wearing my school uniform. It's not cool to wear your uniform. I liked the school uniform. What? Again, it just gave you a sense of like pride, and but what was the big deal about wearing a school uniform? Y'all can't bully me because I'm not wearing the latest fashion. I mean, you'll find another reason to bully me, but like, I don't know. I don't know what is it with kids and hating uniform. It's really not that big of a deal. Especially when some of the uniforms are just shirts. For me, it was like a tie, a shirt, and a blazer. and like obviously nice pants and dress shoes. Fun story again. I have an older brother, and he had sneakers, or trainers as we call them in England, and I would sometimes just be rushing to get out the door, and my mom's there like on the car horn like, come on, let's go. And I'm like there throwing my shoes on, and you know, we got the dress code, and I get to school and my form tutor is like, yo Tails, why are you wearing trainers? I look down, I'm wearing my brother's old ass trainers. It's like, oh god. You know, you can get detention or whatever for not wearing the right uniform. So then I had to explain to like every teacher for the rest of the day why I was wearing my brother's trainers, and the looks I just kept getting were like, oh my god, you're so stupid. I'm like, I know. It's like, how did you not notice? They're like 8 sizes too big for you and they're sneakers. It's like, look, I threw them on in like 2 minutes. Get off my back, woman. There's always so many stories. I'm trying to close the video and then I just think of something else. But yeah, we had good times. Not all bad, not all bad. High school is such a serious thing. These problems matter, but they really don't. True words to live by. But I'm going to end the video here. Actually end it. If you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see you guys in the next one. Good boy. Oh yeah. P.S. and a little message to the people who bullied me in secondary school. Now your content on my channel. Thank you for that. Bye. Tell me your intention.